We lost a great guy recently. His name is Kevin Jelich, and he was the race and facilities director here at AMain. And sadly, a few weeks ago, he passed away. Many of you probably know him or know of him or have heard of him, but some of you probably don't. So I hope you don't mind. This is a little bit different video, but we wanted to say a few things about him. In the last 10 years, if you had ever seen just one of the AMain tracks, it was Kevin and his track crew who made it. And if you had ever raced at one of those tracks, it was Kevin who put it on and announced it.
Yes, 5-minute main event, race number 10, 21.5 sedan AMain. Let's have some fun. Let's do some heads-up racing on the tone. Less than 5.
Kevin joined AMain in 2013, and he had a hand in the IFMAR Worlds that was held that same year and helped out with that track. And he also helped organize and do the track for all the national races that have taken place at the Silver Dollar. He did a number of manufacturer races, warm-up races, various shootouts, the RC Gold Cup, and more. There were a lot of races that he's responsible for. Plus, he always made sure to do at least one race a week there for all the local guys. He could build almost any type of track you wanted. He did dirt tracks, clay tracks, turf tracks, carpet tracks, oval tracks. He could build anything. He was so good that other track facilities would hire him and fly him out so he could build a layout for their racetrack. This is the Fuel Roar 1/8 scale buggies national track that just happened earlier this month. Kevin and his track crew worked for days to make this happen, and we put out a GoPro to film it all too, and it took several days, and it turned out great, but not without a lot of work. If you were here for that race, you would have seen him constantly walking around that track, checking on cracks, looking at the jump faces. He was constantly obsessed with making sure the track was in really good working order. We were gonna make a video on this event, and so I was out there filming this, and I saw him checking out some of the jumps and asked him about it, and this is actually what he told me.
Yeah, so what are we looking at here?
So what this is sugar and water mixed together for jump repairs. We only use the sugar and water on the jumps. And what you're actually seeing here is the aluminum from the chassis is actually wearing off and sticking to the sugar on the dirt.
Ah,
Yeah, and that's what's kind of happening right there. But that's what we do is we wet it down with sugar water only for the jumps. We don't use sugar on the dirt surface for the race surface. We put a layer of sugar water down, put some fresh dirt on it, sugar water on top, pack it with our feet, and then pack it with the vehicle.
because otherwise you're just gonna get holes on the jumps, and then they just turn into
What
craters.
will start to happen is it'll get like notched out. Yeah, it'll get like notched out, and then the cars will start like jumping nose high.
Yeah.
And jumping kind of weird. Like this is like right on the verge of almost not being, or almost on the verge of being a problem. But it should be good for the main. And what I always say, it's the same track for everyone.
Yeah, right.
Same
right.
track for everyone.
The man knew his stuff, and not just with tracks. He was a really fast racer. He was a pro RC racer, and he raced at the highest levels in the sport in his heyday. He was really fast. The first time I ever met him or encountered him was in like late 2010, before he ever worked at AMain. He came up from the Bay Area to Northern California here to race one of our big indoor races, two-wheel drive short course truck. That's what we raced together in. And there was a big old jump on the track that none of the short course trucks were really going for, and he threw his truck down during practice, and on his very first lap, he just hucked it over this jump. And he even threw a little whip on it too, and he landed it perfectly. The truck didn't parachute. He made it look easy, and immediately I was like, damn, he just raised the bar for everyone, doing something that nobody else was doing, and he just did it immediately. And at first, I didn't really like him. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought like he was a hot shot, and he had this really big laugh, and there was no reason not to like him. I was just probably intimidated, and I knew he was fast, and I wanted to beat him, and I couldn't. Years later, after he worked for AMain, he ended up providing so much help in these videos, He was always there to give setup advice, tire recommendations. He'd drive the car and tell you what you think. He often liked to tell people, I could win with that. But he was a huge wealth of information, and he was in a number of these videos. He was kind of like having your own library around, and he would do that and help people. Anybody that came to the track, he'd be there to help you out, give you some advice, drive your car. Now, outside of RC, Kevin was a big-time snowboarder in his younger days, and he's quite good. He's featured in a bunch of different films, and a few of them are uploaded on his YouTube channel, which you can go and check out yourself. Kevin also loved to fish. He loved to take big old long fishing trips with his buddies. He would travel around to different states in the US, and I know he even traveled abroad to find those perfect spots. He documented a lot of it in his YouTube channel too, and he became quite a videographer in his own right, shooting and producing and editing his own videos that are on his YouTube channel you can go check out. Not much of the footage though contains him personally, because he was always behind the camera filming everyone else, but he definitely captured some beautiful scenery and a lot of fish is being caught. Kevin was a special guy, and he gave 200% in whatever he did. He worked really hard, and he was really creative too, whether creating the next track layout or the next fishing trip video. He was a man of many talents. He was a wealth of information, and he was certainly a leader in our RC community. And he will be sorely missed. So, salutes to you, Kevin Jelich. Thank you for all the years of contributing to the RC hobby. Rest in peace, my friend.